Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Sports Fellas. Thank you guys for tuning in. We want to first of all say thank you and enjoy your guys' holidays that's coming up. We have
your boy Tristan back at it again.
Man, Tristan, I want to put it out there real quick. I owe you an apology. I owe you an apology to the Chiefs Nation, Chiefs Kingdom. You guys keep proving me wrong, and I have come to a come into Jesus kind of moment and just said, hey, you know what? I'm going to lay off the Chiefs a little bit. So I'm glad that they've made certain adjustments, and the Chiefs are looking real exciting right now, and they just got to finish up the home stretch. Where do you see them going in if the playoffs is the case?
Where I see them going in? How it's been going the past couple weeks, I'm going to say that we'll get a first-round bye, that we're going to get first in the AFC. A lot of upsets lately. There's like if the Titans keep losing, the Bills keep losing, I don't think it's impossible for us to get that first-round bye. So I think we'll be, first-round bye, and if not that, then,
I want to give a quick shout-out to Kyle on this one. He's a big Colts fan, of course. We miss you, bro. So here's the thing. I was looking at his team, and right now the Colts are a dangerous team. And looking at the way that they're playing, especially we were just discussing about Jonathan Taylor, and then Carson Wentz is playing fundamental, tactical, just precision football. That's what it is. He's not doing too much, not doing too less. They're relying on the ground game. I mean, defensively, they punched the Buffalo Bills in the mouth, and they just wasn't able to recover. So we're going to be doing a lot in depth of that a little later on. But for now, let's just go ahead and let's start off with the picks here. So for our Thanksgiving games, we have 3 games tomorrow. So first up, we have the Chicago Bears visiting the Detroit Lions. Okay, where do we start and where do we end? So Tristan, Chicago, there's reports that Coach Nagy might get fired. Mm-hmm. It's looking like it. I mean, he's not helping the Bears at all.
Yes.
Detroit, they have this will to want to win. They gave away they could have had that win against Pittsburgh when they were down, and they ended up with the tie. So going back to it's still called the Ford Center, I believe, or Ford Field. If I'm wrong, I got to correct myself again here there. But who are you taking, Tristan, and why?
Okay, so in my opinion, 2 bad teams. But I have to go with the Bears. Just simple. The Lions, they're not that good. I feel like the Bears just have a better team. And lately, the past couple weeks, Darnell Mooney's been stepping up. So is Justin Fields. So if those 2 can keep at it, and then I think that they'll have no problem beating the Lions' defense. And the Lions' offense, other than DeAndre Swift, like I've said millions of times before, they got nothing going for them. So unless they can utilize DeAndre Swift, they're not going to do anything against the Bears, in my opinion. It may be a close game, but I don't really see that happening.
I must be either too optimistic or I just want to believe. And the thing is with Detroit, they're just a team that just goes out there. They do what they can. And the teams that they've lost to, I mean, they're above 500. Like we all know about the Baltimore game, that field goal. We see that they take some teams to the limit and they just slip it away. This is an awesome opportunity within division in the NFC North to staple a win. They could staple this win against the Bears that are struggling. And then, like you said, if we can get Swift involved, get the wide receivers going, and then if Jared Goff still injured or hurt, isn't he?
I am not sure. I don't pay attention to the Lions.
You see, you're not helping me, Tristan. You're not helping me. I'm going to go ahead just for this because it's whatever. I mean, we're at the stage of the game right now. Both of them are not going to make the playoffs, so I'm going to take the Lions just because. Just somebody
just because?
Different. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I can.
All right, so next up we have the Las Vegas Raiders going to visit the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. So both teams are in disarray. Again, the Las Vegas Raiders somehow, with the turmoil that they're going through, it's showing on the field. They've dropped, 3 games in a row. Derek Carr, pretty frustrated, which I totally understand. And we have the Dallas Cowboys.
Went to Arrowhead, got spanked.
I just it's just Dak. Dak struggled. Is Zeke still hurt from that game? That was a nasty little injury he had.
I think he's day to day though. I don't
He's
think it's
day-to-day?
good. I don't think he'll be out this game. I think he'll be
Okay, so it's Thanksgiving. We're at America's team. Who are you taking and why, Tristan?
fine. Okay, let me think about this. I'm gonna go with the Cowboys. So they still have Dak, a great quarterback. Had a bad game. It's all right. He was playing my Chiefs. It's understandable. So yeah, I'll go with the Cowboys. They're still missing Amari Cooper, which is concerning because CeeDee Lamb did get a little banged up last game. But I feel like even if both of them are injured or not stepping up, I feel like Michael Gallup will be viable enough, and both their running backs are perfectly fine. So I feel like they'll still be able to utilize whoever on offense, and the Raiders are they've fallen off, which is good for me, good for my division. I'm really happy about that. But I just don't see the Raiders winning against the Cowboys at the moment.
This is kind of interesting pick because the Raiders, again, they need a staple win. And right now, it's a short week for the both of them. They have an opportunity to beat Dallas because right now, let's give credit to the Cowboys defense. Again, they were getting after Mahomes.
Yes.
So Parsons still a phenomenal player.
Oh.
And Trevor Diggs is also, he's playing locking down these wide receivers. But the problem that I noticed in they weren't really getting to the quarterback, getting to Mahomes as they were needing to be like in other games. So it made me think, okay, are you guys that good because you guys were playing mediocre teams? Tampa Bay, they barely lost to Tampa Bay. Or is it literally that they came upon a team that was caliber enough to just made them have to rethink? Because Mike McCarthy, he's been criticized for not being a game manager, utilizing the clock, utilizing the plays. So when I look at both recipes of disaster here, trying to figure out who I'm going to go for, just for the sake of conversation, I'm going to go ahead and take the Cowboys. They're at home, and Jerry Jones is probably going down there trying to tell these guys to shape up because you know how he's a coach, owner, pastor, the whole shebang. So we both agree with the Cowboys.
Yeah, and going along with what you said, I think the Chiefs, they have a great O-line. We adjusted our O-line this offseason, and Creed Humphrey, shout out to him, the best rookie center this season. And also they're missing DeMarcus Lawrence, so they're missing some key players that would help with that pass rush and getting to the quarterback. So I don't really blame the Cowboys for struggling against the Chiefs. Just these past two games, man, we've really stepped up, and just big shout out to the Chiefs, man. Oh, I love it. Love it. Love seeing this.
I gotta hand it to you. Like I said, I'm a man of my word. I'm not gonna say anything bad about the Chiefs. It's just it goes to show that they made the proper adjustments, moving Chris Jones over. It's just they look dangerous. So they put everybody on notice that they're not. They found a way to get back in it, and like I told you, back to what we were saying about the Colts, the Patriots. There's a lot of these teams that are turning it around, and this is the right time to do it. So, yet to remain to be seen. So next up, we've got the last game for the Thanksgiving evening. We have the Buffalo Bills visiting the New Orleans Saints. So the Bills, again, got stomped by the Colts, and the Saints struggled. They struggled against the Eagles. And so we know already that Alvin Kamara is out for tomorrow. And so Mark Ingram is questionable. But it's pretty sure he should be a go, but it's questionable tomorrow. This is another unique opportunity for the Bills to get a win, to capitalize on the Saints being down. But the Bills have not been the same. What could be going on around there in Buffalo?
I'm not too sure. They're just going through a funk, I guess. Really struggling. I think it all depends on how Josh Allen performs. If he doesn't do good, that team is not going to produce. So, and I feel like lately he's just been struggling to find his reads against, especially these good defenses. The Colts have a pretty good defense, and yeah, they've had some pretty crazy upsets this season as well. So, yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with them down there.
So who are you taking?
Despite what's going on with the Bills, I'll have to take the Bills on this one. Because, the Saints are struggling just as bad, if not worse, than the Bills right at the moment. They just can't find. After Jameis Winston went out, I feel like it's been pretty chaotic. They can't really have a quarterback that produces. So, yeah, I just have to go with the Bills, man. They have, in my opinion, a much better team.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going for the Bills as well. I just feel that Josh Allen has got to utilize more of the players that he has. Get the ground game running again. I mean, the thing is you start getting this passing shootout, and it doesn't happen. That's what the run game is for.
Yeah, but I mean, they don't have bad running backs, but I feel like, Zach Moss and Devin Singletary, they're not, like, good enough to have a ground game going. They're just, like, they don't have the size. They have the speed, but not that breakaway speed. So it's hard to utilize a ground game with those two running backs, in my opinion. And usually Josh Allen does a pretty good job of running the ball himself. So, I mean, if like I said, if Josh Allen can just find a way to produce, whether it's him running the ball or just, getting the ball into the right person's hands, they should be fine.
If I was Josh Allen, and I'm not saying I'm some expert, but just looking at the weapons at his disposal with, Cole Beasley, Emmanuel Sanders, Stephon Diggs, you should be torching underneath, up top. I mean, because you have experienced wide receivers going in. I mean, you shouldn't be having this kind of trouble, but at the same time hoping that the O-line will protect Josh Allen so he can make his progressions as he's going. So I feel this will be the Bills.
Yep.
All right, so next up we have the Pittsburgh Steelers visiting the Cincinnati Bengals. So the Steelers took a loss on that Sunday night game against the Chargers, which was a great game.
Yes.
I mean, despite that, both teams had some key people that were gone, but the Steelers, they lost quite a bit of the defense side, but yet they still were able to manage to hang on in the fourth quarter. So they're visiting their AFC North rivals, and this is a lot of implications because the AFC North is up for grabs right now because Baltimore has been struggling a little bit. The Bengals they've been inconsistent, but I mean they came off a win against the Raiders, and right now the Browns are having a little resurgence with their two games. Who are you going to take in this game and why?
I'm going with the Bengals, and it's just one key factor on why I'm going with the Bengals. I think Ben Roethlisberger is he's done, man. He just does not look like, a franchise quarterback anymore. He's struggling. He has great weapons, so I feel like there's no reason he should be struggling this much. Granted, his offensive line isn't the greatest, but man, he's struggling really bad, man. He has Deontay Johnson, Najee Harris, Chase Claypool. He has three great offensive weapons. I feel like it all lies on his shoulders, and how, just as like with Josh Allen with the Bills, if he doesn't do good, they're gonna struggle. They have a good defense, but if they can't score points, what's the point of having good defense? So, I mean, last game wasn't that bad, but man, I feel like Big Ben's done for, and the Bengals just have a great team. They have some upsets this season, but overall, I think they have a better team. Jamar Chase is still popping off. Of course, Joe Burrow is, and they just have a great team, in my opinion.
This is going to be, because we've seen through the years how the Bengals and Steelers, they go at it, and Ben has created a lot of memorable games, especially in playoffs, but this is the new age now, and Burrow is one of the future quarterbacks going in, and also Mixon's been running the ball well.
Shout out to Mixon on my fantasy team.
Oh yeah, he's making some big progressions there, and also on the wide receiver core with the rookie. This is going to be a game where the Steelers is going to figure out if they're even considerate in the sense of, okay, you know what, we're still on top of the pack here, because right now it's like it's like a four-way fight in that AFC North. That's phenomenal. I mean, it's kind of like almost comparison to the AFC West, Right now there's been a little digression there, but overall, seeing the Steelers taking that loss against the Chargers, I just noticed that. I did notice that the Ben is not playing the same, and we know that. I mean, he's getting older, and he's not throwing it like he used to. Like, did you see that one throw that he threw to Chase Claypool? I mean, Chase had to come back to it because he was gone. Like, oh, I need to go back. It's just that the Bengals look more exciting.
Yes.
And shout out to Najee Harris. He's having a great year being a rookie for the Steelers, but he knows it that if the more that they're going to rely on him, the more they're going to stack up the line. And you know how that goes. If you run the ball a lot, it's just wear and tear.
Yep.
So I'm going to go ahead and take the Bengals on this game. So shout out to our friend Chris. I hope he's doing well. And also Eric, big Steeler fan. So sorry, Eric, but we had to go for the Bengals here. All right, so next up we have the Carolina Panthers visiting the Miami Dolphins. So Carolina got Cam Newton back the week before. They won. They beat Arizona. But then they came home and they lost to the Washington football team. Good game, but it's just they couldn't stop Heineke. They couldn't stop him, the defense. And, I mean, Cam Newton. Yes. I mean, Cam Newton did a good job for what you wanted him to do. I mean, Christian McCaffrey had his yards still. I mean, we saw that Robbie Anderson was more involved in the game, and DJ Moore. It's just that defensively they could not stop him. So they're going to visit a Miami Dolphins team that's been very up and down. This is simple. I'm hoping that I'm right, but the Panthers are going to probably take this game.
Yeah, I agree with you. Man, and it hurts me to say that because I feel like the Dolphins can be such a great team. They're not consistent. They just can't find, they don't know what to do, I feel like. The Dolphins' offensive line is probably the worst offensive line in the league. Man, if they can just fix the offensive line, I think they'll be a great team, or at least stand a chance against these other teams. But, yeah, with Cam Newton back, the Panthers, I feel like, are sort of, revitalized. They're I probably like the family mojo back. Yeah, and that game last week, that was a close game, disappointing loss. But, yeah, definitely going with the Panthers.
All right. Yeah, because Miami, I don't know what's going on with them. They had a good game against Baltimore, and I give them credit for that, the way that they went after Lamar Jackson. It's just that I feel like the Panthers have more weapons.
Yes, I agree.
And especially with Hubbard and Christian McCaffrey, I think it's just going to be wear and tear on the Dolphins.
And I just feel like they also don't know how to utilize the running back. I think I've said this before, but I feel like Myles Gaskin is a very talented running back. I feel like if they can just learn how to utilize him, he's an amazing receiving back, and he can run the ball. Like, it's disappointing that I feel like they don't utilize Myles Gaskin enough. And they got great weapons. Tua's not a bad quarterback. I feel like a lot of people hit on Tua, but he's a great quarterback and, in my opinion, very underrated. So,
yeah, they draw to him. I mean, Tua is a successful quarterback in college. We know that. Went to University of Alabama, Roll Tide, and I would like the Coach Flores to really open up the playbook for him and just see what will work to get the team dynamically get out there day in and day out and be able to create opportunities to win. Because you're in the AFC East. I mean, for the longest time, you would give the Patriots a little here, a little there of a headache, but you never was able to produce because New England would always run off with the division. So now that the Buffalo Bills have emerged, and now you see New England kind of trying to get back on track, this is the time now to do something. Because right now you got the Jets way back there somewhere.
Yeah.
And so hopefully Miami can start building on that, start getting some key players, going into the draft, get young, and just start focusing on being a team. Because I don't mind Miami. Miami is just kind of a unique team. I'd like to see them do something. So
I would too.
We'll just gotta wait and see. Next up, we have the NFC East divisional rivals here. We have the Philadelphia Eagles visiting the New York Giants. So the Eagles are on a 2-game winning streak right now. Jalen Hurts is playing pretty good football here.
Phenomenally.
And now that they're going against a New York Giants team that just let go of their offensive coordinator in Jason Garrett, which he wasn't really doing much of anything. You know, Giants fans, you guys know it's the truth. So I'm going to take the Eagles. I mean, I don't know how we're going to expand on this. The Eagles have found a way to stay in the race. And right now, they can capitalize. If Dallas keeps screwing up, they might slip up and give away the division and give it to the Eagles, if that's the case. No offense to America's team. I'm just putting you on notice that you guys can't afford losses, because right now the Eagles have found a way to win, and they're playing on that. So I'm going to take the Eagles on this one because I think New York, with Saquon coming back, everyone's in disarray. It's not organized, and now that the coach has taken over the play calling, I just don't know if they have the personnel to beat the Eagles.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going with the Eagles on this one. The Eagles are just they're on fire, man. They just beat the Saints convincingly. The week before that, they destroyed the Broncos. And then even the week before that, they only lost to the Chargers by a field goal, so they were competing. All these games this year, they've been competing with some pretty good teams. So, yeah, man, I'm a fan of Jalen Hurts, Boomer Sooner. And unless the Giants have just been struggling overall, and they got Saquon back, and I feel like it all lies on Saquon. Saquon carries that team. So if Saquon isn't going to make anything happen, it's going to be tough for them to get any points to produce. So, yeah, I definitely got the Eagles. They're on fire right now, and, I look forward to them to keep it going.
All right, so next up we have the Tennessee Titans going to Foxborough to play the New England Patriots. The Titans got beat by the Texans. Shout out to Chuck and all the Texan fans. With no Derrick Henry, they let go of Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson was just not producing like they wanted him to do, and they brought in Golden Tate to add a little bit of dimension in the wide receiver position since Julio Jones is on IR right now. You're going against Bill Belichick. We've had this discussion before. New England is playing much different now. And this is the scary New England team that I'm always like, this is New England. This is what they do best, especially with Bill Belichick. He takes away, and he gets at where you're at your weakest. I don't feel the Titans have all the tools that they need to beat New England. Because right now, Mac Jones is playing great. He's following Josh Daniels following the playbook. I see that everyone's playing at what they need to be, and I just feel like the Patriots are on the right track right now to wreak havoc and menace in the AFC. So I'm taking the Patriots.
I agree. I'm going with the Patriots as well. Mac Jones is on fire right now, and they're on a 5-game win streak. So I feel like they're gonna extend it to 6. And with the Titans not having Derrick Henry, they essentially don't have a run game. That run game is gone. So they have to rely on Ryan Tannehill, and he's struggling. He's been struggling lately with having to pass that much. They're just not a pass-heavy offense. It's not something they're used to, and I feel like that's what's really messing them up. So, man, if Ryan Tannehill doesn't get it together, I feel like the Titans, they're going to be the bottom seed in the playoffs. They're going to struggle the rest of the season. So, I feel like Ryan Tannehill needs to step up. He has A.J. Brown. I feel like A.J. Brown's a phenomenal receiver. It's just, unless they get a running back that can produce, they're going to be struggling the rest of the season. So,
Bill Belichick's going to double team A.J. Brown.
Oh,
they're going to double team him. They're going to keep some guys in the box to make sure that they don't get super creative. And Tannehill, he just struggled against the Texans.
Yeah.
Just struggled.
The Texans.
And that's just the Texans. And now you have to go to Foxborough to play against the Patriots. No, there's no way. So I don't like to root, but I'm just gonna say that this is one of those games that the facts are the facts. New England is playing hot right now.
Yeah.
So, hand it to the Patriot fans, because I got to make sure. Don't want to sound like I'm being against Patriot fans. Shout out to Zoe and Brandon, big Patriot fans. So we'll see how they do. All right, next up we have the Atlanta Falcons going to Jacksonville to play the Jaguars. So Falcons, they took a loss. They realized that, okay, you know what, because they were on their little win streak, and then it came to a screeching halt. They're going against a Jacksonville team that gave the Colts a hard time the last time they played. But again, they're young, they're developing. This is going to be a unique game, and it's at home at Jacksonville, and I feel Jacksonville's got the win on this one.
This is a difficult one for me. Two bad teams, two terrible teams in my opinion. Both struggling to find something on offense to get something going. But yeah, I gotta go with Jacksonville too, just because James Robinson, phenomenal running back, and I feel like they just have more weapons, and they got it more together. I feel like they're not in like disarray as the Falcons are at the moment. The Falcons have lost 2 in a row. Yeah, I gotta go with Jacksonville as well, man.
All right, so next up we have the New York Jets, the Jets, Jets, going to Houston to face the Texans. As we said previously, the Texans beat the Titans last week, and the Jets have just been losing. So I've rooted it. So far I've lost on 2. This is going to be a unique, weird, boring / okay, another game. There's probably no implications here. The Texans and the Jets are not going to make the playoffs. So I'm going for the Texans. They're just at home.
Yeah, I got to go with the Texans too. Last game, Tyrod Taylor showed out. So, he's been out like half the season with an injury, and his second game back, man, he did really good. So I feel like, he's getting back in the groove of things. And, man, they just showed out last week. And unfortunately, the Jets, Michael Carter's going to be out a couple weeks. So that seals the deal, man. Without Michael Carter in the backfield, don't get me wrong, Ty Johnson's a great running back, but he's not Michael Carter. And I feel like without Michael Carter in the backfield, they don't even stand a chance.
All right, next up we have the Los Angeles Chargers going to the Mile High to visit the Denver Broncos. Chargers had a phenomenal win Sunday night against the Steelers. The Broncos lost on their bye. How do you lose on your bye?
Hey,
Can someone help me out on that?
It happens to a lot of teams, man.
They lost in overtime on the bye. So they're coming back from on a bye. And so the Broncos had that great game against Dallas. We thought Denver's on to something. We're going to shake everybody up. And then, yeah, we got beat by the Eagles. They've just have not been consistent, and now there's question marks that running around thinking, okay, is Teddy Bridgewater really the quarterback for our team? What's going on with the run game with Melvin Gordon kind of not really producing like they want him to do? I mean, is this time now to kind of let Melvin kind of sit back and let the rookie running back Williams go ahead and step up?
Yes, I would think so, man. I think Javonte Williams he's so talented. So is Melvin Gordon, but I feel like they're trying to utilize them both equally, 50-50 split. But now that we're getting towards the end of the season, I think they're going to lean more towards using Javonte Williams to get him that experience.
I mean, they're not out yet, Drisson. They're not out yet in the sense of maybe a wild card spot. But there's a lot going against, especially the AFC North. They're stacked. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've seen 3 teams go in from the same division, but no one in the AFC right now. The Broncos aren't playing good. The Raiders aren't playing good. The Chargers
playing all right.
Yes, they're doing all right, but still, they struggled against the Steelers in the fourth. They almost gave the game away. Mm-hmm. But now let's talk about the Chargers. Justin Herbert is one of those quarterbacks. He's fun to watch. The guy's got an arm. The guy can run. The guy just literally, you gravitate to him because the fact that he keeps you in suspense mode. Like, okay, what is he going to do? Is he going to throw the ball? Is he going to go deep, go short? Is he going to dump it off? Is he going to just run? And right now, this is the best Charger team that's equipped. I mean, defensively, they're still giving up a lot on the run, and they give up a lot of good plays. But offensively, it's just what's keeping them on the field. I mean, right, like I said, finally Mike Williams has been coming back. He had a good game last week. I mean, Keenan Allen still, Jared Cook a little bit. Let's get him a little bit more involved, but he's doing all right. Eckler ran for 4 touchdowns.
Yes, 4 touchdowns.
So it's all clicking in all cylinders. And plus, the Chargers are not intimidated to go into Denver. I mean, it's been a long time where a team would go into Denver and they can't win because it's at Mile High. But the Broncos aren't the same. And I, as a Broncos fan, know that we got a lot of growing up to do, and we've got to make better pieces. I mean, we've got Patrick, Sutton. We've got young talent. It would be nice if we had maybe Aaron Rodgers come, kind of get everybody back on track, like how we did with Peyton. But I just feel that the Chargers are just too good, so I'm taking the Chargers.
Yeah, I agree, man. And with everything you said, the Chargers are just in a phenomenal team at the moment. Maybe not as phenomenal as the Chiefs, but they're up there. So yeah,
you see how I got quiet because I can't say anything right now. So, hey, shout out to all the Chief fans. You see, I'm coming through. I'm a man of my word. Thank you. All right. So next up, we have the Minnesota Vikings visiting the San Francisco 49ers. So shout out to on the Viking side, we've got Greg, our friend Chaz here, and Todd going against my friend's team. Shout out to Patrick, also Marie and family. So we got Kirk Cousins. He's finding ways to win. The wide receivers, awesome to watch. Dalvin Cook has not been as explosive,
but he's still putting up numbers.
Don't count out Adam Thielen, Jefferson. I'm liking what Minnesota's doing right now. I think Mike Zimmer, someone probably sent him an email and said, "Hey, dude, you need to win, or your job might be on the line." And I think he got it together. He got the memo. So right now, the 49ers are on a 2-game winning streak. They won last week.
Yeah, they beat the Jaguars last week, and they beat the Rams.
They
destroyed the Rams.
Yes.
That week.
Yeah. So Garoppolo, he's still hanging on to his job. George Kittle's back. You could tell he was missed.
Oh yeah.
So with Deebo Samuel still being the number 1 wide receiver there, they're over there. They're at where the 49ers are, which is Santa Clara, I believe. What is it's the Levi Stadium, right?
Yes, it's Levi Stadium.
Yeah. Okay. So if in case I'm wrong, it'll be corrected later. I'm going to take Minnesota, and I'll tell you why. Minnesota has found their formula. After beating Green Bay last week, they can go toe to toe. I'm not going to say they're a Super Bowl team, but what I'm saying is that you've got Kendricks disrupting. You have Mike Zimmer is a defensive genius, and he's going to create problems for Garoppolo. If they can get to Garoppolo and he starts struggling, they're going to struggle. So I'm going to take Minnesota.
I like this matchup this week. These are two, in my opinion, underrated teams. Because, man, the 49ers, they've been playing phenomenal the past couple games. Same with the Vikings, man. And the Vikings all year, they've held it to field goals. It's been close games with the Vikings, so they could have a better record than what they do now. But, both teams are sitting at 500, so it's difficult for me because I love both teams. I like the weapons on each side. And Deebo Samuel's doing great. George Kittle, of course, is back, and he's been getting a ton of touches. They both got great teams. So this is difficult for me, but I got to go with the Vikings. They just got off that win against the Green Bay, which is one of the top teams in the NFC. So I think it's going to be a close game. But, yeah, I'm going with the Vikings on this one simply because I got Dalvin Cook on my fantasy team. I need him to do good, okay? So, yeah, I got them winning by, at least a field goal.
All right. Justin. So the next game up we have the Rams visiting the Packers. So the Rams, we saw them lose against Tennessee 2 weeks ago. And again, they lost to the 49ers. And now you have to go into Lambeau to face Aaron Rodgers. Matthew Stafford right now is struggling a little bit. Cooper Kupp's still the top wide receiver in the league. But you're going into Lambeau, and teams that play indoor, teams that are on the other side of the states, going into the cold. It's history shows. I mean, the last time we saw that was probably the NFC Championship with Tampa Bay. But right now, the Packers, Aaron Rodgers, he's a beast. How do you explain this cerebral assassin? I already told you already, like shows before, the guy, I mean, you could take everything away from him, and he's so focused on football that he's just great to watch. And I still believe, I don't care how the Chief fans feel about this, but if Aaron Rodgers was there, the game would have been different. I won't say they won because then that's going to sound kind of different. But here's the deal. Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks in this time.
Yes.
And I feel that he's got something to prove, and he's going to make an example out of the Rams this coming Sunday.
Well, I will say let Green Bay play the Chiefs as they are playing right now, and I think that would be a different story, man. I think we will beat them convincingly if that ever comes up in the future. But it's a difficult one because even though the Rams are struggling, they're still one of the top teams in the NFC. So it's just they had a bye week. So will they come back from that bye week motivated and – full throttle and just make something happen? I feel like they can. That gave OBJ an extra week to study their playbook, figure out what's going on with their offense. So I feel like the Rams, they have a chance. It's just how they've looked the past 2 weeks, last 2 games they've played. It's not going to happen. Not against Green Bay, and like you said, not in Lambeau. So yes, I will go with Green Bay on this one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's just no way. There's just no way. If there was a way, you'd have to tell me how they would do it because that Lambeau is so tough. It's really tough to beat a team there. So, all right. So next up, we have the Sunday night game. We have the Cleveland Browns going to Baltimore to play the Baltimore Ravens. So Lamar Jackson should be back. He was out with the illness, and they barely beat the Chicago Bears. They're going against a hot Browns team right now that Nick Chubb is back. They've established the run. I mean, this is a menacing team. You never know what you're going to get with Baker Mayfield. You just don't know.
Yes.
So I look at both teams. I look at the history. The Browns are not intimidated to go into Baltimore. They're not. They can go in there and get a win, steal a win. Now that we have everything back in there, I think with Lamar Jackson coming back and everything's a go, I'm going to go ahead and take Baltimore for the Sunday night game.
Yeah, I'm going with Baltimore too. Okay. The Ravens, they barely beat the Bears, but bro, the Browns, they barely beat the Lions.
Oh yeah, the
past 2 weeks, the past 2 weeks the Browns have kind of struggled. So, I just got to go with the Ravens. I think they have a much better team. If Baker Mayfield can't make anything happen over in the air, and all they have to do is rely on the run game. So, yeah, I just got to go with the Ravens, man. I think they're a much better team.
All right, so we got the Monday night game. We have the Seattle Seahawks going to Washington to play against the Washington football team. So they're heading to the nation's capital to take on a team that has just beaten the Carolina Panthers the week before, and Seattle just still struggling. They still have not been able to find a win. They're losing at home. They're losing away. This is not the Seattle team that I remember from years past.
Definitely not.
So, looking at this game, Washington, they're at home. They can go after Russell Wilson because he's not 100%. And if they find ways to lock down Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, because there's no run game.
Mm-hmm.
Their run game's not that strong.
Yeah, and Chris Carson's out for the rest of the season too.
Yeah, I was waiting for him on my fantasy. Yeah, he hurt his neck, and he was day to day, and then they put him in IR. Then now they said, nope, you're done for the year. So this is just not their year. So I'm going to take Washington.
Yeah, I agree. It hurts me to say that because, man, I think Seattle still they have weapons, but they just have not been producing with those weapons, and Washington's been doing pretty good as well, making some upsets and get some great teams. So, yeah, I'll go with Washington on this one.
All right. So for the game of the week, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers visiting Kyle's team, the Indianapolis Colts. So for the game of the week, we will focus on just a little bit more in depth on both teams, and we'll kind of figure out who we're taking and why. So what I'm going to throw out there is with Tampa Bay beat the Giants Monday night convincingly. Gronk coming back, playoff Lenny still doing what he needs to do. Chris Godwin has stepped up big time. I think he's becoming one of Tom Brady's favorite weapons of choice in the end zone. I mean, Mike Evans is still dangerous.
Yep, just set an NFL record, or no, for his franchise record the other night.
So, yeah, congratulations. So, weapon-wise, they're good. Now, let's steer it over to the Indianapolis Colts. The Indianapolis Colts got a solid running back in Jonathan Taylor.
A phenomenal running back.
There's no need for Marlon Mack no more. Now he's been – and then what's his name? Hines. Yeah, Hines. He gets a little here, a little there. He gets little scraps. Wide receiver-wise, Michael Pittman, he's still doing there. I mean, what's up with T.Y. Hilton? He's not doing as much more.
He's not doing anything.
So this is going to be a fun game. Indianapolis has a beautiful relationship with Tom Brady. There's a lot of love there. Being sarcastic. They're going to want to go after him. They're going to try to disrupt the way he's playing. They're going to try to lock down. And if I looked at Kyle, if he was here right now, just looking at him, I can just picture him in his – let's just give him the home jersey, the blue jersey. And I look at Kyle. I said, Kyle, here's the deal. You guys are good, but you're going against the GOAT. The GOAT, everybody's back on track now. So for this game, I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I am going to take the Colts. It's simple. Give it to Jonathan Taylor. That's it. If you give the ball to Jonathan Taylor, he'll make something happen. It's crazy the plays he makes. You can pass it to him or just let him run it. He's their star. He's the reason they're winning. And as long as he's healthy, I think the Colts put up a fighting chance against any team. And on top of, that defense has been playing great this year. So I think the Colts defense will give Tampa Bay a run for their money. I think they'll because they have one of the top running games in the league. So I think they will not have a problem shutting down Leonard Fournette. And as long as they can hold those receivers, I feel like the Colts have no problem winning this game. I got Jonathan Taylor, and granted the Buccaneers, they do have a good defense as well, but with somebody like Jonathan Taylor, it doesn't matter what defense you're going against, he'll make something happen. It's just that's the deciding factor for me, man. Give the ball to Jonathan Taylor, they're gonna win this game. I feel like it'll be close. They'll put up a fight, but
I mean, I like the Colts what they're doing right now. It's just I feel that the Buccaneers, they have, like I said, they have Mike Evans. He's going to deserve attention. Chris Godwin is going to deserve attention. Now Gronk's back. He's going to block. He's going to get open. So it's going to create a lot of mismatches for the Colts. So they need that pass rush. They need to get to Tom Brady. And you get to Tom Brady, he gets disrupted. He can't do his progressions, and it just wreaks havoc. It's just that right now Tampa Bay has found their formula again. They can run with the division. I mean, they have a couple more games. If the Saints take a loss, on tomorrow's game against the Bills, this opens up the way for them. And I just feel that the Buccaneers they're right where they need to be. So that's why I'm taking the Buccaneers.
All right, and I can see that happening too. I can see either team winning, but man, I'm really rooting for the Colts on this one.
All right. Well, you guys, that was our picks of the week for Week 12. Please tune in. We will have another show of Sports Fellas. We'll be back. Any final shout outs you want to give out before we go?
Man, shout out to my Chiefs fans. They doubted us. I was even having some questions too for a second there, but I feel like we just found a way to win, man. We just came back, and man, it's gonna be a great rest of the season.
All right, so I got a kind of lengthy shout out. So first of all, we're going to just start off from the top. I thank God. Thank you very much for everything. Also, I want to thank my family, and also, Drisson, thank you today for coming. Also, thank our staff at Sports Fellas when they're here. Also, I want to thank also the shows we just launched the new show, Silver Cosmos Movie Reviews. So if you're watching a movie, you have some questions, you want a little bit more insight and depth, follow us. We're here to talk about it. So tune into our show there. We also did another show of Wichita Vice and talking about the Eternals. So if you're a comic book nerd, you read comics, you're kind of a low-key nerd, follow us. That's what we do. We talk about comic books. And also, we're going to be introducing our show back in high demand, the Cutting Crew. We are coming back. So that's also a show we're looking forward to. Also, subscribe, just follow us. Hit us, subscribe. Help us out a little bit, right? Lend a hand. Also, I want to say thank you to of course, the people behind the scenes. We want to thank Eric. We want to thank Pau, Andrew. Also, we want to thank for the people that have contributed, and Tim and Leo. And also, I want to thank, besides the friends and family, I want to thank everybody who has listened, who has tuned in. We appreciate you guys. So going forward, I just want to say, keep your heads up. Let's stay optimistic, and overall, enjoy your holidays, and look forward to seeing you guys and hearing from you guys in the next episode.